Few internet issues later, Xaku Prime access is now available with Hotfix 37.0.9, meaning the Quassus Prime, the Warframe, the melee weapon, and the Trumna Prime. Probably what I'm looking forward to the most from this whole Prime drop is the Trumna Prime, because it is a hell of a weapon, and primed, oh, we've got to answer this question before we do anything else. Would you class this as a launcher weapon? The standard one first available from Deviri, I believe father sells it. I was going to say grandfather, but the Prime version, I mean visually, just starting off, instead of it having these marks on the side of it, they've actually turned them into discs. It's like they were missing on the version that we have normally. This is missing the bits on the side, whereas they are now available. But the fire rate is still 4.67. The magazine has gone from 200 to 240. The reload has gone from 5 to 4. The crit chance, still the same, 24%. But the crit multiplier is now 2.4 instead of 2.2. I didn't think they would change the crit chance. Hoped they would change the crit chance to like 30, the crit multiplier to 2.4, but to 24%, it's still acceptable. Increasing the multiplier, it's still going to do more damage, but the status side of it, instead of being 30%, is now 34. And then it gets better. We have impact, instead of 29, it's now 32. But the heat damage is still the same at 53, so the total damage has gone up from 82 to 85. Even when it comes to the blast radius, it's gone from 1,000 to 1,000. What, it was 1,000, wasn't it? Yeah. So they've increased the radial damage, which is great. Actually, the magazine's bigger. The punch through is still locked at 0, literally padlock 0. Reload speed is the same. So even the normal radial attack is still the same for its auto mode. Its semi mode has an increase of 150 damage, whereas its normal fire mode has got an increase of 3. But that also being said, the damage for the semi has gone, well, it's exactly the same. 38% crit chance, 2.4 times multiplier, 50% status, and 100 impact. It's the radius, the radial attack, that has an extra 150 damage to it. So splash damage through the roof. Radial damage attack for the normal one is still exactly the same though. That's a surprise. Even the fall off is exactly the same. So no matter how you put it, this is a huge improvement over the standard one. The Quassus Prime war fans, 2 of them, dual wielding war fans, which is actually kind of great. Kind of exactly the same as they were before. Attack speed of 0.833. Range hasn't moved, but slam attack has gone up from 160 to 500. Just go to the actual total damage. Has gone from 230 to 260 by increasing slash. Yeah. They've reduced the impact. It used to be 27.6. It's now 26. And puncture is 52 instead of 46. So they've moved them round, and it's still more, and it's still focused around slash, which is great. But 5% extra crit, it's gone from 30 to 35, 2.5 times crit multiplier instead of 2, and status has gone from 12 to 15, which means, obviously, the heavy attacks have also gone up, though, and let's not sugarcoat it, the Quassus Prime has launched broken. The following issues are known and will be fixed in an upcoming hotfix to follow. Status chance is being increased from 15% to 18%. This is on the projectiles. Yes? Known issue. That actually doesn't say so. It just says the status chance is being increased. Well, it is 15%. And that one's 2. So the base status is being increased on these, as is the projectile crit chance is going from 30 to 35, and the crit damage is going from 2 to 2.5, which would be these down here for the projectile. So launched, broken. And instead of going through and turning around and going the... Huh. How do you spell Trumna? That A shouldn't have been there. The Trumna Prime is on the Axii T12, the Lith N16, the Meso T7. Just go to the Codex, search for it, and then you can find the relics, and each one will tell you the Prime Receiver is the rare, whereas the stock is the uncommon. The barrel is also a rare. It has 2 rares. It is a decent weapon, so it's worth it, but the blueprint is the common drop, and you can see what relics they drop from and where these relics actually drop from. Which leads us to who these signature weapons belong to. Xaku Prime. The normal Xaku, I love Xaku, he's a hell of a frame, and he has some really amazing abilities, to be fair. Like, ridiculously amazing and useful abilities at that. Cannot fault him that much. Oh, and he just looks absolutely amazing. I wish the Prime one was in this pose, but then again they wouldn't be able to actually show off the Prime frame with the Prime armor and just looking so much better. Health, exactly the same. Shields, instead of 239, is 263. Armor, 146? No, 167. And energy has gone from 160 to 161. We used to get 1 or 2 stats that were buffed. It's usually a minimum of 2. Him? Try all 3, because sprint speed has gone from 1.02 to 1.07. This, they need to do this with more primes. Buffed. Remembering, will also come with a polarity or 2 more than Xaku will. Ooh. Now I'm torn. I wanted the Trumna Prime first, but Xaku, almost complete buff across the board. Health is the only thing they haven't touched. Then we get slightly weirded out by his Prime accessories. Don't get this wrong. There is 2 things that come with his Prime accessories. Ignoring the 90-day affinity booster and the 90-day resource booster, which I'm still glad they changed the credit one over to resource. It's way more useful and way more desirable. But there is the Prime Sandana and the Necra Prime outfit that will come with the Drifter and Operator parts. So there is the hood closed and open, the greaves, the arms, and the chest. It's listed them all as separate parts instead of just showing you the outfit, which will look like this when wearing it, with of course the mask closed, the hood closed, because it has the skull effect. I am a very big fan of this Prime accessories because that operator suit looks amazing. Meaning Baruuk Prime, the Cobra Crane Prime and the Aphurus Prime have in fact their relics vaulted. That's right, I've mentioned this before, twice I do believe, but when one Prime emerges, another Prime has to enter the vault. Don't panic, Baruuk Prime, the Cobra Crane Prime and the Aphurus Prime are still buildable. You can still obtain them in game if you have the parts, you can still trade them, you can still build them, you can still open relics you have, you can still trade for the relic. Just means no new relics will be dropping containing Baruuk Prime, Cobra Crane Prime or the Aphurus Prime. The relics are what gets vaulted, not the frames. It is weird terminology, but it's been this way for a long time. And I'm so glad, and also so sad at the same time, because Baruuk is a decent frame. But I was right. And I hate to say that one. The Aphurus Prime was a hell of a secondary. But it's fine, because he is making way for Xaku Prime. Let me know in the comment section, which one do you prefer, Baruuk or Xaku? Because I haven't played Xaku in a while and I can't decide if I want to go for him first. Is it worth going for Xaku Prime Access first or the Trumna Prime first? Because you can always be leveling the Trumna Prime while forming the ports for Xaku. Because Xaku does take 3 days to build after all. Or he could be building while you're forming for the other ports. There was a lot of other fixes in this, as well as, you know, the known issues already done, moving to the Prime Vault, Riven dispositions. That is pretty much a constant, and it's getting sad at the same time that they are changing the damage of Rivens every time a Prime comes out, because they make the Rivens worthless. Absolutely worthless. Awakening quest changes, nothing really major, just basically streamlining a few things, making it better, and a ton of fixes as would be expected by what is basically the last, and that word there, that annoys me. This should have been update 37.1. Hotfixing it, the next update would be update 38, Warframe 1999. So update 37 didn't even get to a 0.1. Possibly, I don't know. This is Digital Extreme. Warframe 1999, maybe 37.1 or 0.5. They do some weird numbering things, but Xaku Prime Access is out now. Formable in-game, or go buy his accessories with real money. However you want to get him. The Trumna Prime. Oh, I'm going for it right now. So thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.